Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. What is up, Scotty, Sith Supreme and Mr. Senior Doctor? Hi Rise. Pleasure seeing all of you. It is an extremely snowy day today in Latvia. It's a big blizzard. We got a weather warning again about the excess amount of snow. So it's gonna be noise. Gonna be special. Meanwhile, I guess we're gonna make a start with arena. We could also play some poker, and we could also play... You know what? I'm actually gonna put on boosts. We're gonna do all of this stuff. Stop, BK. Welcome. It's a Pledge Dome. What's up, idont? Welcome, everybody. You beautiful people. How are you doing this morning, sir? I am doing reasonably okay. I'd say status of my affairs, reasonable. Da. What a game. Yeah, we have only beaten USA like a couple of times. In one recent hockey championship like 3 years ago, we beat USA for the bronze medal. But I'd say about 95% of the time you guys beat us. It is what it is. I don't think it showcases America from any positive light when you are kind of... It's like, how many... You guys are like... What is it? 5... 50... 150? 200 times more people than we do? At that point, you're just being a little bully. What's up, Mason? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. First appearance, gold pool after grinding out for 36 on the lunar event. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, like, it's a good thing. I got a 6-star gold pool, which I didn't have before, so that's kind of neat. Yeah, exactly. Like, some of your biggest cities are like 5 times as populous as our entire country. So, you know, I don't take it less harsh. Like, obviously, USA, it really the same thing as like, if our, I don't know, military would go one-on-one, you know? Like, we're a tiny country. It's like, if you guys annihilate us, it's nothing to be proud of. Comparison would be like if some sort of, I don't know, New York would flex its financial prowess on some small town in Midwest, comparatively speaking. So, you know, it's a bad, some poor taste. A hockey team can only have 20 players. Well, yeah, but again, you have 20 to pick from, you know, 300 plus million. We have 20 to pick from 2 million. Less than 2 million. A video on the game being grinding multiplayer, part of the reason leaving the game. Yeah, it's definitely like getting grindier and grindier. Like, this last one is insane. Like, I work from home, right? And like, yes, my workload has increased quite drastically, especially like this week from like Monday to Wednesday. I spent most of my day, you know, either creating reports or figuring out ways how to, you know, get the information and, you know, dealing with issues in general. So most of my days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I spent focused on my other job. But I still obviously streamed every one of those days, and I still play the game fair amount. And in general, I play the game more than most people should. At the very least, I play the game more than most people should be expected to play. And I can't keep up. I didn't finish arenas to a degree that I would have liked to finish them last time around. You know, I haven't gotten all the points in poker. I haven't gotten the Dance Dance Revolution shards. I haven't tested the Battlegrounds metas properly. I just did like one stream for like an hour and a half. It's just so fucking much to do. Like, and even for me, it's a shit ton to do. Like today, for whatever reason, there's a bank holiday for, you know, the country that my company is based in. And I basically have nothing to do there, right? Nothing to do for the other job. And I'm still like, damn, there's so much to do. Exactly. I haven't done Dance Dance Revolution since the shards either. I might grab some of them, but... But hey, nonetheless, this stream is meant for grinding and ranting, so rant away. What's up, Omer? Put dance floor rewards into the pocket. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, if you put those rewards, got rid of Dance Dance Revolution, and then I'd do it for sure, yeah. Which country is your company based in? Do you think it was an accident that I worded it the way I did? Because, like, I could have said that it is a bank holiday in X country. I chose to say there is a bank holiday in the country that the company is based in. Do you think that word choice was accidental? Why is it a secret? Why does it have to be known? What's up, Ella? Today, so I can't have an actually I don't have too much time because I need to take my son to the grandma's, so we're kind of abandoning him for the weekend. So the official North Korea. Hey, could be. I have all milestones for Dance. I didn't mind this mod at all. So different. That's fair enough. So again, as I said in like the previous video that I recorded, there's always somebody who will like, you know, just about anything. You know, I'm sure that there are like 6 people who love Falcon, Hawk, and Taurus. You know what I mean? And I'm totally okay with it. We are allowed to like different things. And there are always outliers. It's definitely a German company, aka Hydra. Dude, that'd be so cool. Imagine working for Red Skull. Watcher is always accidental when it comes to Kabam and their communication. No, it isn't. Kabam actually is quite... At times they are extremely incompetent when they communicate. Absolutely agree. But when they do release some of the kind of like deep dives, or when they are trying very hard to sell us on specific things, they also know how to use language to hide their intent and, well, effectively use language deceptively. The best example, yet again, to where Kabam is like, let's say, not overtly lying, but it's completely misleading, was the post about AI, where Kabam says, like, we have never intentionally or something changed AI. So it's like one of those, well, technically we never changed, you know what I mean? Or I think they said it's like we never intentionally changed the AI, and what they were referring to is that they never changed the way how AI works, but they have obviously absolutely changed the settings and recovery times and stuff like that. So, you know, language is one of those things where you can use it for good, you can use it to protect yourself, you can be careless with it, and you can expose yourself to misunderstandings, so on and so forth. And control of language. Control of language is, I think, quite crucial. I bet it Banga destroy the game, or was it not so bad? Destroy the game? Banga actually didn't do that much damage, I'd say. There are the rank 6 Punishers, but there's only like 3 of them. Other than that, I'd say it was... Banquet was better for average players than it normally is, and it was like equally good or slightly better for Wales. But Wales also got a lot of, let's say, white glove rewards rather than, you know, press advantage to the game more than should have been previously. As in, you know, they vote, top Wales got like an exclusive rework vote where they decide which champion's gonna get reworked, and top Wales, you know, get exclusive something. Obviously they do have massive rosters now as well, but that was always the case with every banquet. So I think the main improvement for the Wales was kind of like extra add-ons plus that rank 6 Punisher with the prestige advancement. But the difference between, like, no, in that sense, I kind of feel like as like, if you're completely free to play and if you hadn't prepared for the banquet, yeah, you kind of fucked, because you did fall behind quite bad. If you're a mid to moderate spender, or you had grinded out like, I don't know, 30k units or 20-some-k units for the banquet, you're also good. But at the same time, I do expect the rank 4 acquisition to accelerate quite drastically, and I don't expect that disparity to kind of remain as significant. Also noticed blue model side of animation. Seems like the alien like is doing stuff in this. I did not notice it, but fair enough. Oh, you can find. Oh, because he has that big lunge. Oh, that's good. Do you feel it's worth banning an entire class now with 5 bans or not still? I sometimes do that. Yes. Again, take a look at which class opponent's kind of the weakest at. Could be. It could be Ankit. As an additional commentary video about grinding, I have a second account last month. I think I should have banned it. I need to deliver play to grind it. Absolutely, I have no idea how anybody would manage to do, you know, most of the stuff on 2 accounts. Because again, like, even for me, it is very hard to do kind of like the standard stuff on 1 account. That is a poverty roster, LOS. As a comparison, I have not spent on the game much at all. I have been grinding arena more recently than before, and in most of these sales, my viewers ended up grabbing me, let's say, 2 to 4 Odins, somewhere there. Let's say on average 3 Odins per big sale. So I never went big on any of the sales, but I did get a couple of the Odins for like the banquet thingy.
Take my money.
I did get a couple of the Odins for
$5.
For the Cyber Week and stuff like that. So and I never really spent on anything else in last half a year beyond, you know, the double track or the sigil. And I am sitting now on some 50 some rank 4s. Hey, Sith is coming in with the fiber. Is somebody going to the gulag? Just a reminder, guys, by the way, I don't know exactly how my day tomorrow is going to look like, but there is a very good chance that you do not see me tomorrow, because it's the perfect day of the year to play doctors with my wife. So I expect at least 3 doctor's appointments, and that's gonna take a while. Rank 5s are a thing now. I do not have a rank 5. However, if you placed highly enough in the banquet event, you do have a rank 5, or you are about to have a rank 5. There are some people with multiple rank 5s. Relic should I give Scorpion to give him more heal? I don't think any relic helps him with more healing. The one relic that does help him is kind of Hulk's relic, or the Pierce ones, the penetration ones, the energy or physical penetrations. Those can help him. More healing on Scorpion is on the Sig level. On the bright side. On the bright side. Actually, I can check how many Sandstone rank 4s I have. I have 57 rank 4 Sandstones. Hulkling's fixed, yes. You will be busy considering your son's getting dropped off for the weekend. Yeah, that's exactly why he's getting dropped off. I made dinner reservations to the restaurant that my wife always wanted to go, and for one reason or another we never did. Sith Supreme knows which one. But we're going to that place tomorrow evening. So left a lengthy comment in the last video. Were you kind to me, Elijah? Or were you naughty, naughty, naughty? Wait, Sith Supreme, but we didn't change it to the fiber. Twitch drop should be back live today, right? I think. Hope so. Be interested in your thoughts when you get a chance. We have a chance right now. I have a chance. You have. We collectively have a chance right now. I was completely neutral. Fair enough. Let us take a look at it then. I shall be the judge of your neutrality. Oh, that is a fairly lengthy comment. We're gonna pull it up. We have the technology. Technologia. Hey. Can I zoom in a bit? Nah. Alright. So I think this move is directly related to monetization. I'll explain why, and why I think this is actually good in my view, of course. Community has asked Kabam to lower the entry barrier on sales, and they clearly have. They also explained that they will be looking for alternative ways to monetize. Everyone has taken notice that each of these grindable elements includes a way to reduce that grind by using money. To me, this is good. I'd rather the game revolve around playing to reduce the investment than paying for exclusive champions that will leave you behind in competitive modes if you don't have those champions. The kink in the machine is arena. Kabam has said that rising costs of units-based deals directly relate to how many people will larger rosters can easily farm units in arena and stash large amounts of them to effectively eliminate the need to spend on the sales. I think increasing time investment in other areas of the game in attempt to reduce the pool of players who can gather all these resources for free. I know time is money. Well, I agree that it's not fair to tell people just don't play that mode. I think more and more people are going to have this. Oh, so you're one of the wet sock ones. Said which rewards are better to return time for the investment. Well, yeah, probably better grinding arena than the New Year's card game. Of course, people are going to ask. Okay, so there are a few issues I take with this, Elijah. Number one is Kabam steals the entire, like, Kabam is gonna sell you like these tokens, like for whatever, $10 for you to kind of like grind it out. And then Kabam is going to release an offer for like $30 that will have triple the rewards that you can grind and play for, that you can obtain only for cash. Because the monetization still exists and exists in a very heavy form in the game. And realistically, for instance, if you compare something like achieving Celestial in Battlegrounds, which only a couple hundred people in the world can do, the rewards that you get from that investment, for instance, account for like $150 or $100 offer, which is ridiculously low. So, let alone for like vast majority of the people, the entire month of Battlegrounds in Kabam's eyes account for like less than $30 or $40 or whatever. And it's the same for this game mode. So, grinding this New Year's event for 6 hours a week, even with those tokens, by the way, because so far I have basically only played with the tokens. Doing that for 3 weeks, so putting in 18 hours of grind, getting those rewards, would effectively account for something like $50. So that is the problem here, because Kabam's increasing this thing, and part of the thought process I do agree with you, because Kabam is kind of like monetizing ways how you can progress faster, like in the Coliseum. But the other flip side of it is that at end of the day, even if you grind it out without buying the shortcut options, pay for the shortcut options and play for these rewards, you're still just about always worse off than just flat out buying an offer. That is one very big thing. The other thing is the sales barrier for entry. In general, that's not really the case though. We haven't really... Okay, barrier for entry, like... I guess it would kind of constitute what you consider to be barrier for entry. But it's not like sales have gotten less frequent or cheaper. It's not like Kabam expected you to spend less money in Cyber Weekend than they did 2 years ago or whatever. There's still X amount of audience, X amount of that, if you want to kind of like get the full set of rewards. So Kabam's not reducing the total amount of monetization from the order side at all. But they are increasing the amount of monetization from this quote-unquote gameplay side through the grindiness. To me, it's much more that it's not either-or type situation where Kabam's trying to do this and reduce the monetization in the game overall. To me, this, just like with the first appearance champions, is just yet another way for Kabam to monetize and try and kind of like mix-match things that you are willing to spend on. It is not decreasing the amount of monetization. It is just kind of like adding in new hooks in the pond to hope you'll bite on one of them. And that's the way I see it. I hear there's grinding on the stream. Yes, Slice Brand, there is grinding. Was it a restaurant we didn't get back? Yes, that is exactly the one. That is exactly the one, Sith Supreme. Cyberwing and Bank, you get a lot more championship. Yeah, but also the game has progressed, because you remember, again, we are still playing for the 7 stars. Like, getting 7-star champions cheaper years in, it only kind of makes sense because we care so much less about stuff like 7-star shards and titan shards and whatnot. And you could get a lot more champions for 15k units. I mean, like, I think that's just a natural progression and inflation of the game. Because if you compare it to a year ago, like, 7-star shards were more desirable. Exclusive champions still hold the value. I mean, again, it depends on the champion. For instance, Cyber Weekend, what were the exclusive champions? Yondu and Super Skull, right? So, like, Yondu is, like, fair enough. That aspect has improved, and I do agree that alternate methods of acquiring champions, I'm kind of for it. But overall value of these sales hasn't changed kind of like much, I'd say, year per year. Like, for instance, if a year ago you could get like a rank 4 and X, and this year you can get 3 rank 4s or 4 rank 4s just because the game has progressed. It's not that Kabam is like offering you more relative value. Did Valkyrie get fixed? Yes, Valkyrie did get fixed. Because, again, like, as a reminder, there was a time when Tier 2 Alpha cost like $100 or $500. You wouldn't pay you wouldn't pay $1 for a Tier 2 Alpha now, because everything in this game, you know, decreases in value over time as the game progresses through. And the same, you know, effectively is 7-star shards. And, you know, even to, like, for instance, a year ago, can you imagine holding on to 400,000 Titan shards? No, because then shards were desirable, and basically nobody was even thinking about holding them because of how, like, rare they were and how cool and important it was to open a Titan crystal. And now, like, many people just don't give a shit. That's the chance themselves. But again, and the same thing kind of goes for rank materials. I'd say, like, but I mean, like, okay, I guess that is debatable. Overall, I would say you're probably right that even proportionally speaking, you could get more like now for 15k than previously for 15k, even adjusting for inflation. My problem is the fact that Kabam's still expecting, you know, the $1,000 and still offering X amount more and still kind of like providing more and more and more and more and more avenues to spend. Because if you can, because again, this game doesn't exist in a vacuum, and especially if you are playing it in any competitive game modes, it's not as much often about what you can acquire for 10,000 units. It's about what Kabam's offering in its totality. Because you can grind out your 15k units and you can purchase those offers, but if there's a guy who's gonna drop in that same sale the, you know, 15k units plus $1,000 and get like 8 times more than you do, then, you know, you have not gained, you have anything really, you have just felt further behind in competitive play. I think it takes them update rewards. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that they love to stretch out for the game economy things. It's like Kabam's like never in any rush to update the rewards because, number one, what you can do, you know, and the other thing is like they probably have the mindset of the later we do it, the better for us, because we can kind of extend the lifetime of the game maybe or something like that. The Gallant rank 4, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I think the rewards update is kind of one of those things that there's very little incentive for Kabam directly to go and be active on it. Oh yeah, you can take out the swipe bots in that. I have gotten all the units in the swipey mode, so it turned the swipey mode into a tappy mode. You know. I think I'm gonna quit, to be honest. I think Coliseum It's just not worth it. Well, again, like, because Kabam, like, for all the flaws Kabam does have, they are quite good at pivoting and course correcting and making changes. And this game always goes through kind of like, first of all, almost every January, February kind of feels shit in this game. Any video on walk damage now? I haven't ranked up my sensor walk. But what I wanted to say, yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, slump in January, February. That always happens, and again, like I'm in a camp. Like at this point, for most part, in one way, shape, or form, even if I'm not like playing super competitively anymore at some point or something else. I'm in it, you know, to see how this stuff ends. I have kind of switched my mindset to I'm gonna make my blood boil and rage and rant and campaign to improve the game. I have largely changed my mindset to I'm gonna grab a bucket of popcorn, I'm gonna have fun along the way. I'll, you know, record some rants when I feel like it. Other times I'll just laugh at a bunch of stuff. Especially at Kabam, and I just want to see how, you know, things shake out. So I kind of have taken a bit more lax approach to the game. Money from this, well, they do have they don't have overhead. What you, it's all virtual, but staff wages, you know, equipment, maintenance, rentals, that is a business operating cost as well. So just like any other business, Kabam is still under pressure to generate X amount of revenue. Today should be Twitch drops, yes. This is hot, but EQ was so boring this month. He was one champion for each chapter. I mean, EQ was at the very least much quicker, so I don't know. Because the way I put it, EQ was boring this month, yes, but to me, it was even more boring the previous months because it felt more tedious. This time around, even if it isn't the most exciting content, at least I could rush through it, so I didn't have to subject myself for as long. And besides, I think it is more enjoyable to, I don't know, take an OP champion in a fight and, you know, nuke the fight quickly than kind of like try and work myself up and use crappy champions for a subpar piece of content. You know what I mean? I prefer hard content for rewards than long. Yeah, absolutely, I do agree with that. I'd prefer for my revives not to be expiring every day. That is normal, but implementing... I mean, I completely agree. Implementing the sale doesn't cost them effectively anything. Okay. But yeah, today we should have some Twitch drops. No what, Mason? No what? What are you knowing about? That is serious. Yeah, I know. It's so depressing. Now I feel I wasted some research making the OP 6-star version of Champions till both 6 and 7-star available. Like for I don't think so, because like I never approach, like, whenever, like, what's the best way to put it? I have a ton of same champions ranked up as 4 stars and as 5 stars. I have a ton of same champions ranked up as 5 stars and as 6 stars, and a ton of same champions ranked up as 6 stars and as 7 stars. Because number one is, you still got a benefit or something out of ranking up that champion as a 6 star because you needed it at the time. That is number one. And number two is, as you know, time passes, the resources required to rank up like a 6 star are less and less relevant. For instance, right now I can do less shit about tier 6 basics, tier 3 alphas and stuff like that. I mean, obviously it's completely different business, and there are definite advantages to what Kabam is doing because they're not actually selling anything to us aside from, you know, digital pixels. But it is not free to create those pixels just because they don't exist in the real world. For instance, you know, hiring people to design it is still a sunk cost in that project. And depending on the amount of work power required and the wages of the employees, the costs of, for instance, creating like relics is I'd guess in hundreds of thousands. And it failed, you know? So it's a similar risk that they're taking without a physical inventory. Because they do still sink in a ton of, you know, finances into creating, coding, and designing things. And if they are unsuccessful, there's still, you know, financial loss of it. For instance, relics didn't generate money for them, so they stopped investing time and resources into creating them for quite a while. Because they didn't know how they can sell them to us. What's up, Sonia? How are you doing? I mean, you are right, I agree with you. What economy are you talking about? The economy is in shambles, buddy. My dear, beloved, beautiful wife. Oh, this is kind of cool. My dear, beloved, beautiful. Okay, let's see how this acts. Hey. Who dies first? He did! One second. My wife, my dear, lovely, beautiful wife, send me a message. Alright. Probably there. Designing sales very low cost venture. Again, I am sure that Kabam has found a way to turn design of the sale in a high cost venture that involves at least 32 employees, 18 meetings, and, you know, fairly large amount of expenditure. Because there needs to be, you know, 8 graphic designers involved, 3 coders, a game economy specialist, as whatever else not. Because again, I do think that Kabam is kind of like... What's the best? Well, what would be the best way to put it? I do think Kabam has very shitty work culture. I really do. I think they're a mid-sized company that's trying to behave like a large corporate giant. Or they're a mid-sized studio that's trying to behave like some massive conglomerate. At least that's how the Kabam employees often also come across, with their arrogance and how full of shit they are. Do you think 6 months break cost? I assume there's bank crossing up has been bigger than ever. Yeah, but again, you can always kind of catch up. How much it costs exactly, monetary wise, I don't know. I have never tried to catch up like that. But time wise, I think that's like one of the reasons why this game continues to kind of exist, is because every year the game pseudo resets, or within like a 1.5 time frame. So if you come back playing within like a 1.5 with, you know, your moderate spending and fairly sizable level of activity, you'd be perfectly fine. The example for that would be, for instance, you know, nobody right now gives a shit about how many rank 3s you have, and it isn't the measure of your level of competitiveness. It's rank 4s and rank 5s, right? The rank 4s have become easier than ever to acquire. Rank 5s are still super rare. By end of this year, nobody will give a shit about how many rank 4s you have. You will be measured by the amount of rank 5s you have. And for instance, I have 0 still. So if you start playing right now, you're like half a rank 5 behind. Yeah, exactly. So that is like one of the good things about MCOC, because with every new kind of either star level or progression rank that the game unlocks, it also kind of soft resets the progress. Because like we constantly measure like how many, you know, maxed out 5 stars you have, and then, you know, how many rank 3 6 stars you have and stuff like that. And within 2 years, within 1.5 years, the previous stat is irrelevant. For instance, now we care about how many rank 4s you have, because rank 5s are so basically brand new. But next year at the same time, nobody's going to give a shit about how many rank 4s you have. We're only going to be talking about how many rank 5s people have. And again, in this situation, I basically have no rank 5s. I don't have a rank 5, and I'm not going to get one from the Coliseum rewards. And that's going to be the only thing that matters next year. So I wouldn't say that you're like that far behind in, you know, the grand scope things in the game's life cycle. You kind of catch my drift? Because we as the players always complain about, you know, the new star levels and how things, you know, do get reset in the game. But it also saves as kind of like a safety line for players who do take a break, or for newer players for it to be easier for them to catch up and stuff. So no, that's exactly the opposite of what I just explained, Brownie story. That means that you can take a break every year basically, and you can still catch up within a year. You can't expect to be like immediately competitive back, but within a year you can expect to be competitive. Do you believe Command had to increase deck size and BGs? I do think, like, again, like, I know why everybody hates the change in deck size. So far, I don't. I might change my mind the more I play with it, because obviously I've had very limited time. There are quite a few advantages of having a bigger deck size. It does increase the complexity. It does increase the chance of more random matchups, and, you know, you not having to fight Serpent every match and stuff like that. So there are definitely upsides to it as well. I do think that, and again, that's why I'm not like screaming. I completely understand people are freaking out mad, because it does definitely help, you know, the whales more than it helps anybody else. People never like that. It was communicated extremely atrociously. I do not think or like how they did it with the rerolls. I think if they are kind of enabling up to 3 rerolls per match, then they should either decrease the cost of the rerolls 3 times, or, you know, or provide them for free. Oh, the game is grindier than ever. I'd say right now MCOC is the grindiest it has ever been, which is what I made my last video about. think 5 bans are the problem. 5 bans, again, we'll see. I think if 5 bans are the problem, then it's largely only because of the defenders, toxic defenders that Kabam has made. I'm not saying I hate it, it's full, obviously not anymore, but I'm still holding to see how. Yeah, exactly, because I do think we should play the season and see how it goes. I don't know. Poker games grinding his brain out. Yeah, and it's worse than the previous poker game. The previous poker game, like, at the very least, you had more to think about and you kind of had, like, bigger gambles and swings to go on. Now it's kind of just like match a fucking caller type thing. Like, dude, it's awful. You know what I mean? This new kind of, like, rules... Because 80% of the time, 85% of the time, you just end up collecting the fire thingies. Well, my new job is getting more and more demanding as well, and if I get lucky enough to be able to do it like full-time job, then I'd be a happy guy. I'd be a happy camper then. I mean, yeah, Kabam could have thrown in that legend title, why not? I don't think it, you know, like, it matters nothing to me, but people care about it. I see no reason why Kabam couldn't have thrown in that legend title there. Much rather just do arenas. Yeah, I kind of agree. I find arenas to be less kind of worse pastime in the game. So hard to get a wood in poker. It is very hard to get a wood in poker. Yep, that's also true. This version of poker is much more reliant on the opening hand than anything else. Completely agree. Because again, like, unless you get 3 of any other color, you almost always end up going for the fire. And that kind of is the strategy as well. Yeah, just that. But I don't know, it will be harder for highly skilled players, smaller decks like Nick, time monitoring post. Again, like, yes, I agree. At the same time, I think the reason why it will be harder, or should I say, harder or more expensive, and that's because of the reroll system. If Kabam gave us 3 rerolls per match that we can use, and had, again, decreased the cost of the said rerolls, or given them to us for free, it would actually be equally as good or even better for the smaller rosters, because you could constantly hunt for the champions you're after. You know what I mean? But yeah, and well, first of all, several issues can feel at the same time. Like, if any aspect of the poker would improve, the game mode would feel better. For instance, if we actually had the original rule set, I think it would also feel better and like kind of less tedious, because it would be a bit more re-engaging, you know, engaging to actually play it. It wouldn't feel like as dull, because there'd be more for us to kind of like think of, gamble and stuff like that. That's also, you know, would make the game better. Obviously, just having better red envelopes with more chance to get units, or some units in the milestones flat out or something like that, would immediately, again, kind of like lessen the amount of complaints, because the game mode would, regardless of all its other flaws, would feel more rewarding to play. And that would also make the game mode better, just in a different way. Or at the very least, it would make us more willing to put up with that game mode. So as silly as the legend title was last time, Time to go harder to get hands. Fair enough, I suppose. My baby Cassie. Cass. What makes me wonder is you have people who can't play the game like us in the Kebam office. Surely there was one. Well, first of all, without trying to offend anybody, I think quite a few of those people do not have the best suited personalities to do the jobs that they are doing, or they are just very high on their own farts. Because they always get extremely defensive, as if they can do no wrong. And like, for instance, when they design a champion, that champion turns out to be a crap, according to the community, the champion designer would not say like, my bad, design shit champion. That champion designer would go ahead and say, that champion's great, you're all wrong. And I think that is the type of attitude that Kebam kind of like, you know, they have the attitude of people who love the smell of their own farts. Because effectively they think that they're doing everything right, and it's kind of like, you know what this kind of reminds me of, like, without, and this is not gonna be like, because I saw this talking point a few years ago in different contexts. It reminded me of the politics a little bit. Where, let's say, country is going to shit, people are unhappy with ungodly amounts of illegal immigration, economy is tanking, and, you know, crime's up, and like, in general, things are going bad. And the politicians, rather than saying the things are going bad, or like, we're going to try and fix it, something like that, were insistent that it's mainly a messaging problem. That they're failing to reach the voters and the audiences to explain that, you know, not everything is as bad as everybody sees and feels it is. And this is kind of similar situation with Kebam, where I think, you know, community is clearly telling, we don't like this crap, we don't want it, we're not enjoying it. And Kebam is kind of going, is like, yeah, but it's only because you're not understanding it well enough, type of thing. You know what I mean? When they're kind of like mixing the roles there. Because again, ultimately, that's the only final thing that matters. Whether community finds something fun, whether we find it engaging, whether, you know, we want. When Kebam released a champion, the said designer who released a lot of good champions and one shitty champion in particular, and is now insistent that champion is still great. It doesn't fucking matter if that guy thinks the champion's great. What matters is whether the community thinks the champion's great, and whether we're willing to spend money, chase him, acquire him, rank him, and use him. Because if we're not, even if it is, let's say, according to some standard, the best champion in the game, it just doesn't fucking matter. And the same thing with the games, with offers, with game modes, with just about everything else. Kebam can't think that they did everything right, and you know, I don't know, this new lunar event is fucking flawless and the best thing that I have designed ever. But if community disagrees, then it doesn't matter. Whoops. Sonya wins. What did Sonya win? What did Sonya win? Only think you've been playing this game 9.4? Yeah, I'm kind of looking for 9.4 as well. I want to see how Magic turns out too. Whoopsie. Hey. Chill out. Need to find my parry. Oh crap. There was not too much power. That is a bit of a whoopsie time. Does James live in his parents' basement? No, James lives in his own place. Actually, I never spoke about it, but I think it's not the easiest relationship there. For people players and employees is that they play tier 1 war and design champions for that node. And that is way more niche. I don't think that's the only problem, but it obviously is part of the problem as well. I'd say. But yeah, like I am fully like willing to admit where I understand where like my viewpoints can differentiate from like an average player, and I'm kind of like self-aware to know, you know, that at this point, for instance, I would not be the best person to give advice about what's the best way to progress, you know, in your second month, for instance, because I haven't played the early parts of the game in forever, and I don't know how the new champions interact, so I don't pretend to kind of like know it all. And I think the problem is that the people working at Kabam kind of do think they know everything the best when they often themselves have no clue. And again, like, they have people who play this game, right? You know, Karate Mike and whatnot. And then they release this Lunar New Year's event where you have to grind for like 7 hours a week. And it's a boring game mode. And I can promise you, nobody actually looked at that game mode from the player's perspective who would have to grind it for, you know, 7 hours a week to get the milestone rewards, to figure out whether the milestone rewards are worth it, whether it is a fun activity to do. So even though they are kind of like top tier players themselves, I think Kabam at large are failing to see their own game from the eyes and lives of their players. You know what I mean? What did you do to reignite the interest for this game, Katie, when you were losing interest? Honestly, it generally happens kind of naturally when some more exciting things happen in the game. What's the best way to put it? It can either be a very fun champion that I enjoy playing, that kind of automatically makes me want to be in the game, or it can be like a good battleground season, something like that. What I think you are looking at is wrongly, in a sense, is that you're trying to force yourself care more than you do. And what I think you should be doing more is to turn on a bit of an autopilot, kind of like go through the motions, you know, do the minimum requirements for like your team and yourself that you kind of feel comfortable with. You know, don't stress about grinding every unit in arena. Don't stress about grinding every side quest, something like that. Do your like war fights and do your like AQ responsibilities. And rest, we can figure out later. At some point, like if it comes back, it comes back to you, and it's gonna happen just naturally. You'll still be playing as much if you're in content creator? Probably not, honestly. Or at the very least that would have. Now, I'm like a creature of habit, so there's a good chance that I would be anyways. Who decided Canada was a bad word? James paid $50 to designate Canada as a gulag word for 1 month. No, I mean, like, I'd say it's a hypothetical I will not have a chance to find out, because I am a creature of habit. For sure I am. But at the same time, you know, unquestionably, the likelihood of me playing has been increased by the fact that I do create content. Coliseum's the only one. But even Coliseum has like plenty of issues, both solo and alliance Coliseum. For instance, solo Coliseum is nothing but a kind of shittier rehash from Eternity of Pain. Because two things can be true at the same time. It can still be reasonably good, but it still can be worse than the Eternity of Pain, for instance, event. And that's the way I view it. The solo Coliseum is probably the best thing Kabam has done recently, but it is still not as good as many of the things that they have done in the past. Especially with them recycling those fights, you know what I mean, and making the event more grindy in general, so... I still value solo Coliseum kind of like more than just about anything they have done recently, but less than much of the stuff that they have done in the past. Because again, they just rehashed the ideas in a shittier form. They took Eternity of Pain concept, made it grindier, stole fights from it, and pretending like it's this big new thing, when the reward structure is Eternity of Pain reward structure, fights are literally Eternity of the Pain fights, just about everything of, but again, distribution of it is just through a grindier game mode. So I can't say Coliseum like it's a massive W to me, solo Coliseum. But it's better than most other stuff. Alliance Coliseum, on the other hand, I think is dumb. I think Alliance Coliseum is something that could have been great, that Kabam fucked it up. Kabam fucked it up in two simple ways. Number one, there's no reason for podium levels to exist. It should be exclusively about how many bars you can clear, not how many hundreds of fights you have done before to get the podium levels up. Kind of defeats the purpose of the game mode, in my opinion. And the other thing is locking it to 3 days. It's just disgusting. Locking it to 3 days, there's absolutely no reason or justification for that. I will not let go of the fact that because of Kabam, I was playing the goddamn game mode in the fucking, you know, New Year's Eve or something like that. It's just stupid and it should not happen to a 10-year-old game. New Year's Eve was very stupid. Yeah, exactly. I remember fucking rushing to grind to that like third podium level or whatever else and thinking how damn stupid this is. But, you know, you had to do it. So there you go. We certainly do have issues in the game. And the shittiest part of it is, like, a lot of it comes, one, yes, from Kabam just recycling old shit, rather than making up new stuff, and somehow managing to make it worse. Because, like, one would think, when you create a game mode, you get feedback, and then you have a very good chance to make it better. Kabam, more often than not, somehow ends up making it worse. Like, anybody remembers before Valiant EQ, when they were testing those things out? And then when the Valiant EQ came, the Elder difficulty, it was like the worst version of them all. So they tested shit for like 6 months and they created the worst version of whatever we had for those 6 months. Similar to this Coliseum Eternity of Pain. They had feedback from Eternity of Pain, people liked it, and they made inferior version to this. And it's kind of befuddling to me where they do something, they have feedback and every opportunity to improve it and make it better and make it more fun, and they make it more shitty. And that, again, quite often comes from the obsessive need to over monetize everything. Again, for instance, the podium levels in the Alliance Coliseum, it's 100% only existing in the game to monetize the game. Nothing else to it. And it is genuinely making the game mode actively, significantly worse. And the same reason, I would suspect, the same reason why we only have 3 days is also because then players have more incentive to buy the podium levels rather than grind the podium levels because you don't have as much time. Stop him. How are you doing, buddy? Welcome. Good example, saw and agree with. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're kind of like carrying on the discussion in this stream as well. You know it's bad when Cena is dropping multiple F-bombs in video. Yep. In it to win it. What you winning? What you winning? You ready for the big Valentine's Day? What you getting your wife? MCOC materials today? Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get any. I don't have any disposable income for this sale either. Instead of getting an Odin, I bought my wife a perfume that she wanted for a while, and I'm taking her for dinner tomorrow. So I think that's better use of my money. I think we are getting a free box. I think it's just the sales drop. I haven't heard about the stream. Hasn't been announced. Tier 6 basic expiring. Well, use them. Use them! Alright, so you're getting, I'll try to find some motivation to play the game again. Again, like, don't be looking for it. Take it a bit, chill, and it'll get to you. Oh, I just got 70 points out. It's because you got greedy. It's because you were trying to get, like, wood or water, weren't you? If you just went for the fire, nothing like that would have ever happened. $92 rank force. You disgust me. Bad thing you did not spend an order something to your caring wife. A mature person. Well, thank you, Bissa. Part is I had 3 fire and didn't get a single one after. Oof. Okay, that is dumb. Then I would be raging. Then I would be raging. Almost every single day, lots of grinding in it. Earlier it was Coliseum. Yeah, exactly. Like, this has been, like, the grindiest period of 30 days in MCOC than I can remember. Like, no shit. Because, yeah, because we had, like, the new, you know, monthly content. Okay, fair enough. I didn't have to kind of, like, rush through it. I did, but that was, like, a bit of a grind. Obviously, Battlegrounds is kind of a grind as well if you do take it half seriously. And then I have started doing the arenas, so, you know, doing every arena is a grind. We had Coliseum that we had to grind 2 Coliseums at the same time. We had Dance Dance Revolution, which is a grindy game mode. We do have this poker event, which is a grindy thing. It's like everything is so goddamn grindy. Like, it really, really is. It's taking a toll on me a little bit. Dude, it's taking a toll on me. Like, it is a very shitty feeling when you feel like you're falling behind and when you're kind of like leaving the rewards on the table and so on. It's just not an enjoyable feeling. And again, keep in mind, I play this game way more than most people should. First now, you're fine. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. That the poker thing is just not great. As I explained in the video that they released yesterday evening, I think the current poker thingy thingamajig. Current poker thingamajig is just a downgrade of both previous lunar events and previous poker. It's inferior in every category. Previous lunar events were better because they were faster and they awarded you more units. And previous poker was better because I think it was less grindy. And it was more engaging. You had some more cerebral stimulation. You had a bit more to play. Like, you could think, like, how you're gonna approach these fights. And, you know, not the fight. The one thing that it improved, I suppose, is the actual fights. You know, those random nodes with the misses and stuff like that. You get some, like, funny combinations. And getting through those fights quicker is better. So that is, like, one thing that I would give Kabam a credit for. But it's kind of, like, borderline insignificant or irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. But the fights themselves are better. The crystals are garbage? Yeah, the crystals are so garbage. Shit. So yeah. I don't think Kabam's having the best the best couple of weeks yet again. Man, Kabam does this. Like, anybody remember, like, you know, the whole period of Spider-Woman announcement and then the closing of the balancing program and everybody had their pitchforks out and stuff like that, and like, you could say Kabam was clearly having a very shit time then. I think you can say Kabam was clearly having a very shit time now as well. And they do that to themselves, like, you know, a couple times a year at the least. Where, like, it seems like everything they touch turns to shit and makes everybody mad. And I would kind of feel sorry for them, but again, so much of it is a result of their own extremely crappy decisions that, again, at this point, I'm just kind of grabbing popcorn and... Is it grind out the first batch of milestones? I should probably rank up my abs band now, shouldn't I, actually? With Mystics being as significant. I think abs band is a good rank up now. Hey, holy shit, yeah. So you can kind of punch well in different classes. Oh, whoopsie. Then guess what? You just spent 1/2 your entire day to grind us. Yeah, no, again, yeah. I also... So 51k hours is kind of in this meta. I don't know. And because, like, the other meta, it gives them the indestructible on level 2, but Abs is gonna get rid of that indestructible very fast, right? If I'm not mistaken. So you should be very good for the next meta too. Oh, yeah, Symbiote Supreme would kind of be a dope rank up. That's true, Matt. But yeah, no, I'm thinking I should probably do abs at some point soon. I mean, I could. I did rank 4 my jugs finally, and I did rank 4 Black Panther Civil War. So how's the 9-5 MCOC going? Well, got some units today, so far. To be fair, I did have already a fairly messed up day. I didn't talk about it before, but I had to wake up at 5 AM to go downstairs and like warm up the car for my wife because she had to drive to the other town to help them with the store stock count. And then I had to, you know, make sure the kid wakes up and send him off to school. And in between all of that, obviously, I did record 2 videos. And now streaming, and then in a bit I need to go out in a fucking blizzard to run some errands, and I need to, well, to take him to the grandma's basically. Alright, I'm newly won with a 5 rank force. Guess who gets banned in battlegrounds? You're rank 3s. But it's all good because guess what? I am finally starting to be able to walk again. Because again, I did go back to the gym this week, and for 3 days I was walking like something got shoved up my rectum. So I went to gym on Tuesday and it wasn't great, but fine. And then I went to gym on Thursday and I was still barely walking, but after the second sesh it was kind of better. Oh, whoopsie. Yeah, I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Yep. Been sleeping, was up at sometime 5 AM. My wife woke me up at 6 AM because I might have trouble starting it. Yeah, this is basically the same thing. I got woken up because like we had a lot of snow and the car might have had trouble to start it. So while I was at it, I, you know, obviously started for her and warmed it up. It's kind of similar then. When it sounds weird. I mean, you know, like, yeah. I mean, it was rough. It still is. It still hurts, but, you know, it doesn't hurt as much. Do you want last? What do you want from me? Ella Stash. When Jug sucked last meta? Why would he suck? Started physiotherapy for my 2 herniated discs this week. I'll get sorted out soon and be able to work for more than a year. Oh, that must suck, man. That must not feel great. How much time I have? I have a wee bit of time still. Motherfucker. Do you read? Whenever the defender gains a buff, the defender gains a buff. Do I need to draw you a picture? So, attacker, right? This is gonna be attacker. This is gonna be jugs. This is gonna be defender. You know. Evil defender. Alright? Defense. When defender gains a buff, they also gain power charge. So most of the champions will be dead by the time they gain 6 buffs from these nodes against Juggernaut. Juggernaut will also be able to nullify this when he does reach 2 bars of power, or he will be able to have this staggered if you have thrown heavy attack before. Also, if they do happen to get the immunity to nullify and stagger for 12 seconds, it's fine. You can still hit them. Could you elaborate? You want me to keep drawing? To do a stream in the gym? Why would I do that? You meant gym shower? That'll be a different platform, my buddy. But yeah, it would be absolutely fantastic if you could smash all the good buttons. Oh wait, I needed to change that. Who knows, maybe become a stream boss. And you can gulag somebody then. And maybe I'll give you a link to my OnlyFans. I just realized I don't want Hulkling and Sensor. Why do you not want Hulkling and Sensor? I mean, I'd go with Tiger and Jogs probably. We're not worth. I don't think Hayu was going to be worth it in these metas. Hayu in general is just kind of like fairly mid. Even in the metas where he's kind of dangerous defender, it's not like he's like he's never been like the level of like Zolo or Serpent or Elena or something like that. And right now, even in the metas where he is kind of annoying, he always gets like fucking nuked with like Okoye or something. So. Like in last meta, in theory, he was like a fairly good defender, but then in reality, every time he got nuked by like stupid onslaught or DPX or something, even if you like did ban the Yelena. So just one of those things. Like even at his best, High E was generally barely good enough to be put in the deck, you know? Could I elaborate on what? Okay, this is a shitty matchup. I'm gonna lose now. I don't know anything putting out that notepad again. That's actually a Marvel notepad, by the way. That you guys got me a couple of years ago when I still got birthday presents from you. When JJ was around and she came to visit me with a big basket of birthday presents. Those are some good old times. So I have faithfully kept using those notepads. I imagine the buff for Khun. Yeah, we don't have a balancing program. Khun was not getting buffed. This isn't counting towards my drops. There are no active drops right now, as far as I know. The drops will be active later today, buddy. 5:02. But I will, unfortunately, have to abandon you guys very, very soon. Let's quickly open the units that we did in. The link took me here? Which link? Are there active drops already? Holy shit. Because I think the drops... Who lies? What lies? Where lies? Maybe there's something that I don't know. Where did you get the link from? 5:02. One second. In the campaign. Because if there are drops are open, the stream should, if you get them. Okay. All campaigns. Oops, I need to close this. Audience comment. I think the drops will be live or are meant to go live in few hours from now. Not quite yet. Yeah, I do like Hulk losing damage. Okay, anyways. Let's claim the rewards quickly. Open them up. See what you got. You need to get 14k units. The sooner the better. No, sons are halfling? Why? Oh, because you don't have him. I know you're trying to be funny there, Bati. I know. You just want me to bring out the notepad again. Don't worry, nobody's mad at you. What do we need 14k for? So we can start working on 15k. Simple. We need 14k. Because the sooner we get to 14k, the sooner we get to 15k. Obviously. No units there. 45. Nice. We got 45. Can we get 75? Now we're cooking. Can we get? Nope. We can't get jack. 105. Ballin'. Nice. 13-7. Sweet. Alright, that's it for now. I do need to get out in a blizzard now. And I will be back later today. See ya. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information